Hey guys, this is Killrob speaking, and today we are going to take a look at plenty of little things. At the start of every sub-project, which is usually connected with a release of some kind before that start of the sub-project, I'm going through this whole flow of the planned features for the next big update, and you can reference that video, which is already up on the channel for this time around. And I will only be focusing on what I'll be talking about in the video. So, what has happened since I made this little overview video? Well, we have had an update which includes the power distribution slider. That one is working. Also, we have done the revamp of the fuel ecosystem, and we have, let's see, what more is there? Caswell has started on implementing the new flow. That has come pretty far already. It's very rough, but yeah, takes a lot of polishing. But the new flow with the platform and model stuff is already in, so now you again can create a platform with several models. Also, the auto-saving is starting to happen, and let's see, what more? Oh yeah, the first vestiges of tooltips have been implemented as well. But also in an update which I will not be showing you right now, because that is still a bit unstable and weird. So, what more has been going on? Well, we have started with the engine scenario rebalancing, and that has been going pretty well so far, but there's a huge amount of scenarios which we need to rebalance, so like 67 of them or something. Anyway, what also has been added is all the new brake types and another little feature which I will be showing you live in automation. So let's jump into that. Alright, so here we are, and what we are going to do now is to take a look at the Sporty Test Car. What a wonderful name. Let's go in and revise this car. This should be allowing us to show you some of the new features at least. Alright, so let's head into platform. Nothing much has changed here. You can see, oh well, apart from this body, I would assume, which you probably don't have yet. Here we get into interesting territory, and that would be the option, as you can spot here, of a modern pushrod system. So the thing was that it is absolutely impossible to get onto the same scale the normal pushrod rod setup, the modern type of pushrods which are used in modern American sports cars, for instance. And this system has the advantage that it's very compact still, like the pushrod system usually is, but it has nothing to do with the price point of the old system, because they're using really fancy materials, and it's more or less just a harking back to the olden days, like keeping the style and having the advantage of compactness, while paying a pretty hefty price for like titanium valves and shit like that. So yeah, we have this system, and it's much better than the pushrod system, but we will be comparing that directly. So I've built a pretty sporty engine, V8, 3.5 liter, revving decently high, even with pushrods, the normal stuff. So we are going to test this one, and as you can see, it's producing 188 kilowatts, pretty nice. Revving to 7.5, but you can see it's a huge power drop off there. And now we are going to switch to the advanced pushrods. So let's see, they look exactly the same. That's why we could implement it that fast. We just had to add a new list type, assign the same graphics to it, and change a few values. So that's pretty simple. So now imagine this one is using more fancy materials. Let's see what it does. This is looking as if it's going higher already. Right, as you can see, it has a lot more staying power, and we would have to rev it much higher in order to really use it to its maximum potential. So let's see what it does at 8.5 instead. And yeah, there we see valve float coming in. So that would be the point where you don't want to rev it anymore. And they are about-ish on par in performance with dual overhead cam 2. So if we run it like this, you see, yeah, it's about-ish the same. Dual overhead cam 2 is still a bit better because they have a better entry point to the cylinder heads, so it'll allow for slightly better airflow. But otherwise, friction-wise and stuff, they are more or less on par. And then if you change to, say, 5 valve, of course, that will completely destroy it, like you see here. So it seems to be reasonably balanced. Of course, it's more expensive than dual overhead cam 2, because otherwise everyone would build pushrods, which they don't. It's really only for Americans who cannot accept that dual overhead cam just is better. But anyway, so let's change back to our pushrods. And pushrods it is, because they are very good for Americans. They like pushrods. Alright, test this again. Looking good, nice performance index. And now let's continue on to the other features. There's a bit more added here. So here you see a new slider, and that is the power distribution slider. And we are currently using an all-wheel drive system, but set to 100% rear-wheel drive. Now that is appropriate. Like putting on 100 kilos of extra weight just to get the all-wheel drive tag on your car doesn't make much sense, but we are going to... let's see, what has happened here? Oh, much better. Okay. It jumped around because the calculations have gone right. So, anyway, we are going to play around with this, but before we go there, I want to show you this tab. More changes. One which I forgot to mention on the overview. We have rims, and they are not all blue-purple, as you would imagine. So we have those, and those, and those, and those, which are completely like budget car ugly. That's all nice. Nothing special here though. So rims, they are awesome. And there will be plenty more, of course. And they will have thumbnails. So then, next tab, new things. Brakes. As you can see, we have added all kinds of brake types, and now I've chosen the worst possible rims, because you don't see shit through there. Those are better, I'd say. Let's take a look. So, we have the brakes and drum brakes, and you can also resize them and shit, like you would imagine. And we have, of course, all kinds of different solid discs, as you know, and then vented discs, same thing here, and carbon fiber ceramic discs, and the same going on there, and of course they have much better performance. I think we are going to test those things now. So let's see. Tameness 55. That doesn't sound too good. Okay, that's fine though. So let's go test the car. And now we are going to change, maybe comparing rear-wheel drive to front-wheel drive. Let's do that. Ew, okay, maybe not the best option there. Test track, and you're right, it's still the same because it's the same weight distribution, but for the acceleration you would be able to see a difference then. That's what this graph basically is for. And we have really bad grip over there. Anyway, so let's now change it to something like... this one is a bit front heavy. So probably 50-50 would be... yeah, it's not good. Like 40 front and 60 rear. For mid-engine all-wheel drive cars, you're probably leaning more towards 70-30. So let's test what this one does. Oh yeah, that's much better. And of course we do get on the test track, the acceleration graph has changed drastically, because now you have a lot of grip. So, yeah. Brake types, of course. Let's see, right now we put on shitty brakes. Let's make the tires better so that they grip. And retest it. Alright. And now we put on shitty brakes. Like drum brakes. Yay for drum brakes. They're huge though. It's probably not as intended. Like this. And now let's check the braking distance. And oh, wow! Okay, no, that's really bad for the tail distance. Oh shit. Alright, test track. There we get the info. So what do we have? 50 meters! Alright, so now we compare those 50 meters to carbon ceramic brakes with 6 pistons and the same size, and that will probably yield a bit better results. 66? Are you kidding? Whoa. But expensive they are. 31 meters! Yeah, that's a slight improvement. Is there anything more we needed to show you? I don't think there is. So what I do now is shut up and leave you to it.